Yeah, good morning, everybody. Today we're going to continue with interactivity, and I'm going to show you from start to finish how to use the WowSlider. It's made by the same people who make MobiRise. So if you go to WowSlider.com, you can download a freebie of that, and it's for Mac or Windows. It doesn't matter, which platform you're working on. And then that's what I've used on my websites. And there are other companies that make similar slideshows. This I adopted early on, and it's worked just fine for me. So that's why I continue to use it. Okay. So Carlos, the question that you have is to unlock. There are a couple of ways to unlock the header and the nav bar and that sort of thing. You have to either open up the template itself and make the changes. So I think can everybody still see what I'm showing you right now? Or no? Here, wait a minute. Let me come back here. Yeah, you can see it. Good. Okay, hold on. Okay, so everything except the two asides and the main content in the middle is locked. The only way, because this is a page that I generated from the template, the only way that you can edit the header and you can edit the footer and you can edit the nav bar is to go back and say open up the template. Okay, so I have to go back to, I guess I'm in lesson 11 right now. I hope I am. Hold on one second before I do too much in here. Let me go back in here and let's see what I have. Yeah, I am working in lesson 11 right now. Okay, so I can come over here to my template folder. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to open up my green temp. When you open up the template itself, everything is unlocked. And you can make changes from here. Okay. However, if there are pages that you have created that have been generated, child pages from this template, it's going to prompt you once you save the changes to the template. Do you want to update these child pages that were created from it? And typically you do. That's the whole purpose of creating a template, that you can modify, 5, 10, 100 pages at one time just by modifying the template. However, if you wish to generate a page from the template, okay, and you want to, just disassociate this entire page from the template itself, and it will not be updated by when you make changes to the template, then what you have to do is you have to switch from live view to design view. And then you go to tools. And in tools, you go to templates, and then you say detach from template. And I don't want to do that just yet, but I will shortly thereafter in a minute, show you why I have to do that with the WowSlider. But then it's no longer connected to the template. And from that, you could create another template if you wanted to. So that's how that works. So let me go back to live view, because I want to put the slideshow in there in a minute. So that's what I'm showing you at the moment. So hold on here. Okay. So about slideshows created with the WowSlider. First step is decide on the size of the slides that you want to make. And they can be irregular sizes. They can follow into default sizes. They can be horizontal, they can be vertical. But my recommendation is to avoid any glitches in the appearance of your images, and that you want consistency. And so, for example, the slides that I have prepared here are a standard 640 by 480 horizontal. Now you'll notice that I have a couple of images here. This one in particular that's vertical. You'll notice that surrounding it is a white background, and I did that in Photoshop. So the entire size of the image, including that white background, is 640 by 480. The WowSlider can accommodate irregularities or the differences in sizes, but I would not rely on it because you'll get a strange looking slideshow when you're done. And I noticed that with some of the MobiRise websites that were created, that, you know, you get that kind of accordion effect that I was talking about, that it expands and contracts to fit the size of the image. And I think for a more pleasing, more effective presentation, you want the same, just like a regular slideshow, you know, it's going to be the same size. You just have to decide in advance what size you want. So I decided early on that I'm just going to use a standard size of 640 by 480. Does it have to be that? No. But what I would do is, you know, you can always make it smaller, but remember when you're working with bitmap / raster images, you don't want to enlarge them afterwards. You want to make sure that they are at least the size that you need or smaller when you, or if you need to make them smaller, you know, they need to be the same size, you know, maximum size, or you can shrink them, but don't make them bigger later on, or it'll become blurry and kind of pixelated. So these are two examples of the images that I created, again, with a white background. And it may be difficult for you guys to see that the little gray on the top and the bottom, but it's to fit that 640 by 480 format. Okay. So here I have, let me move this to the side so you can see, here is the WowSlider, just blank canvas right now. And I want to create a new, you know, a new image, or a new slideshow. So let me move this to the side and bring this to the forefront here. Okay. And what we can do is I can create a new project. So I can click here. And it's just going to ask me, do you want to drag? I can drag separate images or an entire folder. Well, if I've already prepared my entire slideshow, you can always add individual images later. I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to take this folder that I created for WowSlide assets, and I'm just going to drag the whole thing in here. And you can see that it's automatically, I can now bring that to the forefront, created my slideshow. But I don't particularly like maybe the order of the slides. It may be the case that I don't like the appearance or the template that it's being used. I don't like the transitions. Well, that's where we go in now and we make all of our changes here. Well, notice to the right, we have template selection. So maybe that's where we start. I'm not going to worry about the order of the slides just yet. You'll also notice down at the bottom, you'll see here's the slideshow size. So maybe we should start instead of that with this. The default size that it uses is 640 by 360. And you'll notice that it's cropping some of my images. So I need to change that. So I'm going to come in here and you'll see that we also have 640 by 480. So take note of the default sizes. And you can always create a custom size. As I said, all of these are horizontal, but you can create a vertical slideshow if you wish. If the majority of your slides are vertical, then by all means, you can do that. Well, I'm going to select the 640 by 480. And as soon as I do that, now you'll notice that all of my slides fit perfectly. They fit really nice. That's what I'm going for. So the next step is you'll notice that the forward and back buttons, the pause button, and the title and the little the buttons at the bottom that allow me to preview the next slides. Well, let's look at some of the templates over here to the right. And as you click on them, let's just try this one. And as you click on each of the templates, it automatically updates and you get a preview of what it's going to look like. Now, my preference is minimal. I like going for a very basic, kind of understated approach. That's just me. I want the emphasis on the slides themselves, not on the slideshow. So there may be instances where you think kind of a slideshow that's sort of over the top, that's highly designed and a little flamboyant is worthwhile, then fine. If that works, if that's appropriate, then go for it. I'm going to find something. Let's see what quiet looks like. Yeah, it's not too bad. Let me try another one. Terse. I think terse is my favorite. Yeah, this is probably the most understated one that you can get. Now, if you don't buy WowSlider, and I never have, because I don't think it's necessary, as that you'll notice in the lower right-hand corner, you see the little logo that they have for WowSlider. That for me is a minor distraction. And the only way that you can get rid of that is to buy the WowSlider. And I've never found the need to do that. So when you arrive on a template, decide that's it, then I'm just going to leave that for the time being. But the next thing is to decide on what kind of transition do you want. And that's what these are down here, transitional effects. And again, it's pretty straightforward. You can click on any one of these and it will automatically switch and show you that this is the look that your slideshow will have if you choose that particular transition effect. So you can switch through each of these. Shift, louvers. This is, it's up to you, whatever, your personal taste is. And, I think there are some, again, that are kind of over the top, but there are a lot of nice ones. There are, lots and lots and lots of them to choose from. Carousel, that's kind of nice. And again, my choice is sort of the minimal approach. I kind of like the blur, just blurs from one to the next. But again, that's my taste. So, I'm gradually getting closer to the look that I'm going for. The next step is, how about the order of the slides? Do I want to change those? Do I want to add slides or do I want to delete them? Well, if you want to delete one, you just simply select it and select in the upper left-hand corner the delete button, and that's it. If you want to add one, you can either add it from here to the left or at the top, add images and videos. And you can include YouTube videos in here if you wish. Right. So I don't have any that I want to add at the moment, but that's what I could do. If I can click here and you can see add images from a folder, add from YouTube, from Vimeo, whatever you want, image from Flickr. But again, my recommendation to you, they try to make it easy for you and very simple. But my suggestion to all of you is to using the metaphor is the food network, is that I would prepare all of my images in advance. And in most cases, you're going to use Photoshop to do that. Okay. Now, to change the order of the slides, you simply move them up or down. So for example, if this first one, if I want this one here to be the first one, I'll just click here and I'll move it down like so. Now I've changed the order of it. I'll change this one, move it down. Now this is the first one. Or if I want to move this one up. Okay, that's all you do to change the order of them. You drag them up or down. The next step is decide. Here is a little, they're using Parallax with the slides across. So there's more settings that we need to deal with for the titles, the descriptions. And if you want the little buttons here, the preview buttons, that these can be at the top, bottom. There's basically 3 choices. So where do you find that? Is under more settings. Okay. So again, here's a little preview under more settings. Okay. And what we can do here, let's see, I've selected Tour 640. That's 1. Image quality, I'm going to leave that at 80. We already did the transition. We're good. So let's go to general settings and let's see what we have here. So what I want to do here is I want it to autoplay. I want it to pause on mouse over. I don't want it to stop the slideshow after 1 loop. If you want random order, you can select that. I do want a pause and play button. If you would prefer, you can add a full screen button. Be careful, make sure that your images were significantly, large to begin with. I like swipe support. So especially when it shrinks down for a slideshow onto the smartphone, and it does a pretty good job. Again, if you were to go to my website on your phone, it works pretty well. And it fits the slides fit pretty nicely on there. If I chose in advance the default background color of white when I edited the images in Photoshop, if you would rather pick another hexadecimal number, they can apply a background color for you. I'm not really crazy about that. You can say I don't like leaving it in the hands of the application, the WowSlider. I'm going to use the box layout here. I'm going to say show controls on mouse over. I want to say show previous and next buttons. Show descriptions. Now they're saying parallax. I'm going to select none. Or another one might be kind of nice, which goes with the blur, is just to have it to fade. Okay. Remove frame in shadow. No, I'm not going to do that. I want to show the bullets or not. Those bullets are the ones that are at the bottom. Well, maybe I want them at the top. If you would rather have the film strip at the bottom, then that's something to consider, but you just need to make sure that in your web page you have enough room. I can click that, and I'll do that for the time being. And that film strip is going to be at the bottom at the moment, but you can have it on the the top, the right, or the left as well. And you can also specify the thumbnail size. So I can click here. And now you can see here's the little thumbnails at the bottom. And that works for, in some cases. And again, say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pause this. And I want this slide instead. And I can go back over and I can play it. Okay, so let me go back to more settings. Actually, let me go to search here. I'm going to put the bullet navigation at the top instead, and I'll apply it. And again, it automatically updates. You can see how this works. Now, why didn't this go to the top? So let me do that again. I guess I didn't do that. There we go. Top. There you go. So now it's at the top. So now I'm getting pretty darn close to what I have here, you know, what I want. So now the next step is to decide at the bottom, and you'll notice here, if you have a URL for a video that you're going to include that would be from Vimeo or from YouTube, you can put that in here. What you can also do is here's a place for the title. So for each of these, the way you do it is you don't look here, you look over here. So let's say this is the one that I want to change. So I'll just make this one slide. I'm just going to have them a default kind of slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, and description 1, description 2, description 3. So you can see how it changes. So I'll make this one slide 1. Slide 1, and I'll make this one description 1. Okay, and I'll select the next one and do the same thing. So I'm not paying attention to the preview in the main window. I'm looking over to the left. Now this one will be slide 2. And this will be over here to the right. This will be description 2. And this is something that I was talking about with regard to the images that you show in your portfolio for clients. It's not so much a design aspect of web, you know, when you're designing web pages. It's more for prospective clients, what you need to tell them. That if you're a fine artist and you would like to show at a particular gallery and you think someone is interested in your work, then one of the things that you're going to do is that they want to see examples of your work, but they also want to see, well, are titles important to your work? They want to know the size. They want to know the maybe the materials that they're made of, that sort of thing. So this is where you would put that sort of thing. So again, I'll make this one slide 3. I'll shut up for a minute so I can type and finish this. There we go. Should have picked one with fewer slides. So this will be slide 4. Just can't type to save my soul. As I'm making the changes, you'll notice that they're updating as we go here. And you have to make sure that you get it right. That's really important. Because once it's published, you have to come back and you have to edit everything and resave and repaste the whole kit and caboodle. So just a couple more to go. Slide 6, description 6. How many more do I have here? I'm not going to do them all. You get the idea, and you'll notice that they're updating here. Okay, so when you've checked and double checked and triple checked to make sure that the name of the slides, the description of the slides and everything is as you want it, the order is as you want it, and there's no issues with the images themselves, then you're ready to publish. And where I recommend that you publish them is you put this, when you publish it, that you put it inside your root folder. So that would be one of the first things that I would want to do is I want to save this. I can save the project and I'm going to put it inside my root folder, just to be on the safe side. You don't have to, but I think it's good practice. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save it. And I'm going to go in here. Let's go back to, I'm going to save this. I got to find the Dreamweaver lesson on this. I thought I had this all ready to go, and I didn't. So let me go to the desktop. I don't want to go to documents. Oh, come on, where's my desktop? There's desktop. And we'll go ahead and I'll find, where are you? Come out wherever you are. There's Dreamweaver lesson files. I think it's in here. Oh, shoot. You know what? Hold on. I got to make sure I have the right one here. So I'm going to double click in here, make sure that I have the right folder. That would be a good idea. So I'm going to come back out of here and I'm going to go to, yeah, I want to make sure that I have the right one. I have Dreamweaver lesson files. And this is, yeah, that's make sure that that's the right folder. Okay. So I've got that. Let's go back over here. Because I put 2 of them in here just to make sure. So this is the one that I want. I was using lesson 11 is the basis for this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save it inside lesson 11. That's my root folder. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save it in here and we'll name it as sample slideshow. Okay. So we'll go ahead and we'll just save it. Now this is, you don't publish this. This is just the WowSlider file. And it's just a good place to keep it. And you probably want to have all of your original files readily accessible as well. Because if it loses the link to them, then you're kind of in bad shape when you go to open up your original WowSlider at a later date. So I have my slideshow ready. I have saved the slideshow inside my root folder. And now I'm ready to publish. And there's a variety of ways that you can do this. I can insert it directly into a page itself. And I've done this in the past, but sometimes the placement isn't exactly the way where I want it. So the approach that I'm showing you now, I know works. It's pretty foolproof. So I'm going to go to my publish settings here, right here. And where I want to publish this is I'm going to publish it to a folder. Okay. And where it's going to be is inside my root folder. If you know the FTP published to a FTP server, you can put it there. If you want to insert it to a page, you can do that. If you want to insert it into a Joomla model, you could do that. WordPress and Facebook or Google. So I'm going to put it inside my root folder. So let me go back there. And let's put it inside that. So let's go to my desktop. Let's find the root folder again. So here's the Dreamweaver 2017 lesson files. Let's go back to lesson 11. And I want to publish it here. So I'm going to go ahead and select open. So this is where it's going to go inside there. That's where it will be published. And that's critical when you do take your entire website and publish it. The next step is decide on the slider ID. And if you only have one slideshow, then just leave it at 1. But some of you, I suggested when we were, critiquing the MobiRise websites, maybe you have multiple slideshows, or one for your fine art, one for your design, one for your illustrations, one for your photography. So each one of those would need to have a separate ID, and you need to, be cognizant of that fact when you're publishing them, and to remember which one has which ID, and that will become really, really important. The next step is I want it to open the web page after publishing to see what it's going to look like. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and apply this. Okay, and then I'm going to go back again, and I'm going to publish it. So I'm going to go ahead and publish it now. And it's creating it for me, and now it's going to open it up in a browser. I'll just say, go ahead. And at the top, we have slideshow, and it gives you a preview of what it's going to look like. And this is the time where you want to go back and make changes and proofread to make sure everything is as you want it. Okay. Now, there will be 2 additional folders that are created when you make your slideshow, and it will be called Data 1 and Engine 1. Data 1 contains all of the slides for your slideshow. Engine 1 contains all the code that makes that slideshow work. The other thing is that we have these 2 bits of code that need to be pasted. So right here, this goes into the head of your document. Remember that when we were creating our pages in Dreamweaver, when we created the template, it locked the head of the document. So the only way that you can use this is that I have to detach. I either have to put this inside the page itself. Okay, I have to go back to my template, and I have to put this in the head of the template so it will be in all the pages, or I have to detach it from the template. This bit of code goes into the actual page itself, which should be accessible to you, even if it's the child page is generated from the template. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with the head of the document here, and this is really critical. Both of these, where you paste them. So I'm going to select this one, and it selects the whole thing, and I'm going to hit Command C for copy. And Natalie, to answer your question, yes, I currently am using 640 by 480 pixels. Yes. Do you have to use that size? No. It's sort of an old standard on the smaller side. And now I'm going to go back to my page. Whoops. Where am I here? Let me open up. I gotta close some of this stuff. I've got stuff I don't want. There we go. I'm going here. I hope everybody can still see this, I presume. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to detach this from the page right away. So I'm going to go to switch from Live View to Design View. And I'm going to go to Tools. And I'm going to go to Templates, and I'm going to say Detach from Template. So I will have access to the head of the page. Now in the code view is where I'm going to take that code that I copied, and I'm going to place it in here. So I have to go up here, and let's look. There's a title, so I'm in at the very end of the head. Here's the closing tag for the head. So I'm going to click on the line just above that closing tag, hit return, and now I'm going to paste. And you can see it says start WowSlider.com head section and WowSlider.com head section. That goes there. The next thing that I need to figure out is, okay, where am I going to put the slideshow? I want it to go right after this paragraph here, where it says add content here. So I'm going to highlight that just to find out where it is in the code. So it's going to go before the end of that article tag and right after this paragraph tag. So I'm going to hit the return key and to make sure that that's in the right location. Now I got to go back over here where my slideshow is. And now I'm going to select this piece of code and I'm going to hit Command C, copy that. Now I'm going to go back again. And where the cursor is, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paste that code. Now, if I go ahead and let's just view the live view only. And you can see that my slideshow has been inserted. So now what I can do is I'll save my page. But what you should also notice over here in the file folder is that what it's done, let me close that template. You'll notice that there's two folders that have been added. One for, data one, another folder for engine one. These folders need to be uploaded and published when you publish your page. The next thing to do is the last step here before you actually publish it is I'm going to go to File and Preview. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to preview this in real time. I got to save it first, I guess. Let's go ahead and save it. And I'll keep it in here. I'm going to call it Slideshow Demo. There we go. Now I should be able to publish it. Also, Natalie and Nelson. Let's see, Nelson. When you say, Nelson, what were the two things used for the slideshows? What do you mean? That, oh, over here, the folders, the data folder and the engine folder, they are two folders that WowSlider generates. You need to remember to upload or to publish to your host, along with all of your HTML pages, your CSS folder, your font folder, anything else. It needs to be published as well. So now I should be able to preview my page. Okay. Come on. Why is it grayed out? I saved it. Should be ready to go. Come on, come on, come on. No, the last step, most important part. Well, let me go ahead and let me publish it. Let me see if it will work. So I'm going to bypass the preview, which is dangerous, but I'm going to do that anyway. So I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to open up the last step here. Let's go ahead and trying to connect to the server. Hopefully I can connect to it. If I can't, then there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up my folder where it says htdocs. There we go. And here's what we had before. Here's that index page. So remember, if I'm replacing the index page, then I need to save it as an index page. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this. And I'm going to save it as index.html. So I'll go ahead and we'll go to File. Come on. Everything is kind of sluggish on my computer at the moment. Save as. And I'll also save it as index.html. But whatever page you're naming it is what it should be. But since I only have one page, I'm going to go ahead and save it as that so that I can replace and put it in there. Okay, so let me go back again. Come on. So here's my index. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to take this index page and I'm just going to delete it. Okay. And I'm going to take this index page and replace it. So here's this index one, the one that I just created, and I'm going to put it in the htdocs folder. But notice it did not put the data one or the engine one folder. So I need to take the data one folder and I need to put that in htdocs as well. The whole folder. And hopefully that goes smoothly without any muss or fuss. So that it resides in the same location that so far that it's we've used for the page that we just created. So there is, what do we have? There's data one. So now I'm going to select engine one and I'm going to put it in htdocs too. And that should go a little bit quicker. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to test and see if it published correctly. So let me go ahead and close this. And I'm going to go into my browser. So I need to go and, because I have two accounts, I'm going to go to Infinity. And I don't know which Infinity account I used. So hold on here. Let's go back up here and see which one it is. So let me look at the server. And here's my Infinity. And let's open that one up. Because I was thinking it was going to open up in the other one. So, oh shoot. So here's the, okay. Let me see. So let me bring this in here. Let's go to Infinity. And I have two of those accounts. So I'm not sure which one I'm using here. So let me go ahead and log in. I don't need to sign in. Come on, come on. Where's my login? Client area. Okay. So this is the two. I don't know if this is the one that's it. Let's try it and see. Put that in here. And if it isn't, then I will go back to the other one. No, that wasn't it. So my apologies. So I need to go back to my other one. So I need to go back again. Let's go back to the client area. I don't want this one. That was K Miller at Cerritos. So I need to log out of this one. And I'm going to use the other one. So this is Kirk Miller Art. So let's go ahead and use that one. Yeah, so this is it. Well, let's try this one. I can't find the damn one that I used. Well, let me go to manage. Let's see, what is the, I'm looking in here. It doesn't show me the entire name. So let me go back again. I'm going to put in HTTP. And the one that I want is the Infinity. What is it? Part 196. Dot infinity free. I don't know, is it .com? Let's try that. See if it works. Oh, never mind. Here it is, right here. Ta-da! I got it, finally. Just a matter of finding the right one. When you do too many of these, then you lose sight. And here it is published. The page works, the slideshow works. But as I said, you have to remember to put up the, manually upload the data folder and the what was it, the other one, the engine folder. So there you have it for the slideshow that I'm showing you. And there's a different slideshow that we'll do in lesson 12. It kind of harkens back to the early days of web design, where you do a simple mouse over and it swaps out images. And that's valid too for certain things. It's the way that they've demonstrated it in the lesson works pretty nicely. So that's it, unless you guys have any questions. Yes, no? No questions? Does that work for you guys or no? I found it to be a very useful tool to, present my work. And that's why I choose to use it. It's easy to use. It's free. It's, again, hearkening back to the old days when Flash was really the thing to use. And you had to know ActionScript in order to use Flash, in order to put the code in to build your own slideshow. And then you had to make sure that to preview it in a slideshow in a browser, that the end user had to have the Flash plugin. Later on, it just became sort of a nightmare. Okay, David, the question from you, it says you tried the WowSlider, but it doesn't work on your site. Did you put everything in? What doesn't work? When you say it doesn't work, let me go ahead and allow you to speak. So, David?
Yeah, hi. The WowSlider, when I put it to my site, it only shows text. It doesn't show the actual slider.
Okay, did you also upload the engine and the data folder?
Yeah, I put in like, it said to put on my root folder, so that's what I did.
Well, yeah, but I mean, did you upload it? It's in your root. That's why I said when I saved this file, when I saved the WowSlider file, I saved it in my root folder. And when I published it, it automatically saved everything in my root folder. And then when I went to the specific page, you pasted and you copied and pasted the code in the right locations in your page.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, let me stop recording. And also I want to answer Natalie. Yeah, what we can do is on Thursday, I can show you how to switch from a 3-column to a 2-column. Okay. And in the meantime, let me say, I'm not going to say goodbye. I'm just going to stop recording, and then David, I'm going to allow you to share your screen and show me what's going on from your end. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So hold on here. I'm going to pause the recording. So this is, I don't plan on recording anymore for today. So let me